Good morning, you guys. Sorry, I'm a little bit late, but just about 2 minutes late. That's all good. Just had a couple of things I had to tie up with the kids right before I hopped on here. Here I am, ready for the final day of week one of the cash injection through connection workshop series that I'm doing this entire month of August. If you're here and you're watching me, say hi. If you're watching the replay, say hi as well. I love when you guys join me live. It always makes it so much more engaging and more entertaining to talk to everybody and just get on with you guys. So, like I said, today is going to be the wrap up of everything we covered over this past week. And so this past week, we talked all about the connection to the core. And as I mentioned to you guys on Monday, day one, this is where it all starts, right? This is the beginning. This is the foundational pieces. This is where it all starts. So today, as promised, I am going to connect all those dots for you and tie all those topics that we talked about so far this week and show you how to use that to create that cash injection in your business. And then, of course, next week, we're going to build on that with the other layer of connection and then so on and so forth. So Monday, just a quick recap. So on Monday, I shared with you, and again, if you are watching the replay and you were able to watch the series so far, tell me what your biggest takeaways were so far. So on Monday, we talked about why connection is the missing piece to most business plans and marketing strategies, and why that's the one thing that you need to fix in order to change everything in your business, right? So if you watched on Monday, or even if you didn't get a chance to watch on Monday, tell me in the comments if you're watching the replay or if you're joining me live, if that resonated for you, if you felt like you do have that connection piece in your business, or if you feel like there's some areas of it that you're missing or that you're lacking, right? So that's what we discussed on Monday. On Tuesday, we went over the first layer of that connection. So like your visions and your values, right? And then on Wednesday, we talked about your strengths and why being connected and leveraging those strengths in your business is the game changer, right? And of course, yesterday, we went into your the why behind your goals, building out those long-term and those short-term goals and really connecting to the why behind your goals. So here's the thing, you guys, if you haven't figured it out by now, right? That's what this whole series is about. This is why I'm here talking about this so much, is because that connection is the key. And it starts with that internal connection, right? This is where the work needs to begin. It's how you get into that mindset of creating and deepening those connections throughout your business, right? Throughout your marketing, to create those connections with your market, with your audience, through your content, through your offers, with other business owners, when you're networking, and how you build your community. The core connections that we covered this week is what creates that. This is the thing that it is built on, right? But now the $1 million question is always, how do we turn that into cash, right? So how do we turn those internal connections into cash? Because like we discussed, I'm not going to go it over again, a lot of people really associate connections with the external, right? And we can see clearly in some cases how we can turn external connections into cash, right? But not often do people really make that association between how can we turn our internal connections, those core connections that we covered this week, into cash. So that's what I'm going to break down for you guys here today. Super pumped to dive into this topic. I am so excited about it. I love this stuff. It's what I do. It's what I built my business on. It's what has helped me to triple my income year after year in my business. It's what helps my clients to triple their conversion rates, sell out their coaching programs, really turn their communities that they're running and their audiences of thousands of people, actually being able to convert those people into clients, right? It's all this stuff. So let me dive right in. So what I want to offer you here is that all of these connections that we're going to be talking out throughout the month, and then more specifically today, what we're talking about, the core connections that we covered this week, all of these connections, they turn into cash, right? It always turns into cash when you tap in with them and when you stay consistent with it, right? So like any marketing strategy, like any system you're implementing in your business, it works when you work it. And it works when you're consistent with it, right? So these internal connections, you guys, it's no different. You can't just like sit down, do the work, get clear on it, and then not take any action or do anything with that clarity, right? Or you can't just get all excited about it and do the journaling and do the exercises and do the prompts, and then you start taking action and then you stop and you start and you stop and you switch, and then you start doubting yourself and that whole slew of things, right? That is not how you build a successful business. And that is not how you get results in anything, period, right? In any facet of your life, that is not how you get results. It takes consistency. So what I want to actually give you guys today are some real tangible things that you can and should be doing with these internal core connections that we talked about over this week to turn those things into cash, right? So I want to start with values because that's the first layer, right? And I want to we're going to go through each one of them. So if you have not already watched day 2, I believe values was on day 2, values and visions, right? Go back and watch that, and then you'll be able to get a little bit of perspective and context for what we're going to be talking about today. If you have watched it and you're watching the replay or you're joining me live, let me know what 1 to 3 of your top values were. Put those in the comments and let me know, because a lot of times people often feel like they're so different from others, or they can't share freely what the things that are really important to them are because of it might not be, I don't know, like it might not resonate with most people. But more often than not, there's so many other people out there that will relate to that and will connect with that. So if you are watching the replay or if you're joining me live, put some of what your core values are into the chat box and let me see, because chances are, who knows, there might be some of mine as well, right? So if you've identified those, right, just your 1 to 3, that's fine. All right, so what I say, so once you get crystal clear on that, and again, if you've not, go back and watch day 1. I kind of give you a little bit of a exercise to do that, right? But once you're clear on those values, and let me just shut my phone off because I don't want anybody interrupting me. So once you're clear on those values, your job, right, is to bring those values into all aspects of your marketing and your business, right? Here's why. And I say this over and over and over. Hi, Christine. Thanks for joining me. I say this over and over and over again, right? People want to buy from people, right? They want to feel that connection to the brand, to the thing you're selling, and to the business or the person, right? You, in your case, if you're a solopreneur, an entrepreneur, and you're your own brand, they want to feel that connection before they ever invest, right? And when you're able to show people that you've clearly identified what's important to me and that you're living into those things and you're walking your talk, right? And you're showing what's important, your values, that is how you build influence, right? That's how you build influence. Hi, Desiree. Thanks for joining me. That's how you build influence. That's how you build relatability. That's how you build that connection with people, right? So because those people who share those similar values or those people who want to be able to achieve what you're achieving in your business and doing what you're doing in your business, those are the people that will be drawn to you, right? And those are the people that will buy from you because, and let me tell you just the honest to God truth, those are the best clients to have because those are the ones that are going to get the results from your coaching or your service or whatever the thing is that you are offering, right? So there's studies, so many studies show the emotional and neurological connection of buyers, right? And more data is telling us that people want to feel that connection before they invest in you. People want to feel that connection before they buy, right? So I'll give you a quick example. So obviously, one of my core values is connection, right? It is the cornerstone of everything I do in my business. Hi, you guys. Thanks for joining me. It is the core of everything that I do in my business and in my life. So the way that I go about sales, it's very different than a lot of coaches and a lot of sales strategies and tactics that I see out there, right? I believe fundamentally, I believe at my core that when you connect, you convert, right? And we know sales is all about that conversion, right? Like that connection is what leads to the conversion. And so naturally, that value of mine is like what I preach and what I teach. Like it's in all of my marketing, it's in all of my content. When my clients hire me and I support them with their sales strategies and I help them increase their conversion rates, it's because of this stuff, right? So it's laced in all of my marketing, in all of my content, in all of my one-on-one work, in all of the things that I do. And it comes from the fact that, let me just pop over here, I'm seeing some comments. Yeah, when it comes to sales, and those are the clients that find me, right? Those are the ones that are drawn to me because they realize that connection is the missing piece in their marketing or their sales, or they already value connection and know they need to be doing more of that, or they need to enhance their current strategies or whatever the case may be, right? So it would be very difficult, you guys, for me to coach a business owner or to help a brand grow using connection-based marketing, which is my business model, right? If they weren't open to connection, if they were, somebody who was just wanting to use like sales tactics that were not in alignment with those values for me, right? It would be very difficult and challenging for me to coach that because there would be a lot of resistance there, and they would be resistance to what I'd be supporting them with as well, right? So likely they would not get the results and we probably wouldn't vibe as coach client, right? So what I bring that up, and I want to say that again, is because we always talk about ideal clients and dream clients, right? You want to attract those kinds of people. And the way to attract those dream ideal clients that everybody in the marketing space talks about is by first getting clear on what your values are, putting that through in everything you do in your marketing, and then you start to attract those types of clients who already share similar values to you, who already are or are at the beginning stages of realizing that that's what they need, and your coaching and your support and your teaching or whatever the case may be will help them see that clearer, right? So that's how you draw that in. That's how you attract that. So don't be afraid, you guys, to share your life and your business values in all of your marketing content. Don't be afraid to do that because, again, that's how you're going to draw out, and that's how you're going to bring in those types of clients, right? So that's what I want you to do. So like when it comes to your values, if you're creating content, if you are, doing videos on social media, if you're speaking from a stage, whatever you're doing, however you are going out doing your marketing efforts, I want you to share that in that. Help people feel that connection to you because, like I said before, studies after studies after studies and all of the data is pointing to that emotional and neurological connection that people have, buyers have, right? They want to feel that. Okay, cool. So the second thing is your strengths, which we talked about day 3. So I want to give you, again, the tangible like the things you can be doing when it comes to connecting to your strengths to bring in that cash injection in your business. So I said it on day 3 and I'm going to say it again. Connecting with and leveraging your unique strengths is a game changer, right? I've already talked about this, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on that. If you have not watched day 3, go back and watch the replay. It's here inside the group. If you have watched this, if you're watching the replay now, or if you're joining me live, I'd love for you to share what's one of your strengths. Like what's one thing that you know with absolute confidence is one of your strengths, right? Share that with me in the comments. So like I said, I want to share 2 quick tangible things. So 2 things I want to offer you when it comes to connecting with your strengths and leveraging that and using that to create a cash injection in your business, right? And these are things that you can do right now. So The first thing is very simple. Stop doing the things that aren't working. Stop doing the things that aren't aligned with your strengths. It's that simple, right? So I just want to say there's a little bit of a caveat here, right? So if you know that you, like, let's say you know you need to grow or you need to learn something, right? I'm not suggesting that you're like, oh God, this is hard, I can't do this. And then you just, I need to hire somebody or whatever the case may be. There's the mindset piece around that we all need to work around, because there are some things that are going to feel challenging. There's some things that are going to feel hard. There's some things that are going to feel uncomfortable in the beginning. That does not mean that it's not your strengths, right? I want you to be very clear what the difference is between something feeling hard and something like not being your strengths are, right? So I need you to make that distinction first, because it's not about, oh, I suck at writing, it's so hard, I can't do it. That's not my strength, I give up. That's not what it is, right? What I want you to think about is that as any business owner in the beginning, especially, and again, I kind of touched on this when we were talking about strengths on day 3. Any business owner, there's certain things you're going to have to learn in the beginning of your business. You're going to have to learn how to do certain things. You're going to have to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. You're going to have to push yourself and stretch yourself outside of that very famous comfort zone, right? So I always actually like to recommend you doing something at least a couple of times and really trying it, really giving it your best effort and trying it before you decide that you need to outsource or delegate it, right? Like that is so important, because it not only allows you to, like, let's say you outsource, you delegate it, or you find someone else to help you with that. It not only helps you to come to that process or come to those conversations with that person or that team or whatever it is that you hire to help you with that, more aware or more informed of what they're talking about, but it also helps you to like measure the results and the progress they're getting for you, right? So I always recommend that you need to actually be able to try the thing first, do the thing first, really give it your best shot. And then if after doing it a couple of times, you know that this is something that is not going to get easier for you with time. So like there are those things that we do them enough, practice makes perfect. And they get easier with time, right? Like the more you do it, it gets easier. And it's something that you can grow to develop and improve within yourself. But if you know that this is not something that is going to get easier with time, or even if it does, it's just not something that you feel like it's where your zone of genius is, then you want to definitely get your support around that. And I talked about that again on the day when we talked about strengths. But instead of but once you know what that is, right? Or if, like you said, right out of gate, you already know what that thing is. If you already know, hold on, I'm losing my train of thought here. This is why it's important to stick with your notes. If you already know that that thing is costing you more time, energy, and money, like doing that, and you know time, energy, and money are your most valuable resources, right? If you know doing that thing in your business is costing you more time, energy, and money, then stop doing it. Just stop doing it. Get the support you need. Delegate. Get some help. You know, a lot of people if you're in the beginning phases of your business and you're like, oh, but I can't afford that, or you have some money mindset issues around investing in your business. No. If you can get support to help you produce the results in that thing faster, then you can do it yourself. And you know that thing is going to lead you to that long-term goals that you want and help you produce those results, then it's worth every penny, right? So instead of you sitting here fumbling, trying to figure it out, or, you know, like not leaning into it and getting frustrated over it, if you can get that done for you faster and quicker, then, you know, like it's the best money spent as a business owner, right? So so that's one aspect of it. But the second thing is, instead of spending your time doing a bunch of things, right? You want to get the support around that, hire your weaknesses, like Sarah Blakely says, right? And the second thing is lean into what your unique strengths are, right? So whatever that might be for you, you want to lean into and leverage those things. Because when you are doing the thing that you know you're already very naturally good at, and it's your strengths and a thing that comes really organically and naturally to you, whatever that might be, it might be writing, it might be doing videos, it might be math, it might be strategy, it might be copy design, it might be like, whatever that thing might be for you, lean into that, right? Because here's the thing, you guys, people need what you have to offer. Because like you, people are always looking to hire their weaknesses too, right? And your strengths might very well be and is very well someone else's weakness, right? So that's what our economy, that's what business is based on, right? So don't be afraid to lean into those things and get off and stop doing those things that are not aligned with your strengths. The more you can show up in your power, the more you can step into and own it and share that with the world, the more money you'll make, because the more people will see that that's what you have to offer. That's what they need. Hello, let me get her on board or him on board on my team, right? So that's what I want to say about the strengths part. So the third layer to this is how you can turn like the why of your goals, which is what we talked about yesterday, and why connecting to the why of your goals, how you can use that to create that cash injection in your business. And again, if you didn't watch that, go ahead and watch the repeat from yesterday. But here's the thing, you guys. This is your starting point to everything you want to achieve in your life, not just your business, right? Really, really being deeply connected to the core of your why and the why of your goals. This is the starting point to everything. So I cannot stress enough the importance of taking the time to really deeply connect to that, right? And it's not, like I mentioned yesterday, it's not going to be difficult for you to actually, what I said yesterday was that it's going to be very difficult for you to actually be able to take steps towards whatever your goal is, let alone accomplish that goal, if you're not connected to the why of that goal, right? So yesterday I kind of gave you like a little exercise that I do with my clients, and I even do myself, to help me drill down into that. And go back and watch yesterday's video if you have not. And again, if you're watching the replay and you know what that is, and if you feel like you're really connected to your goal, I'd love for you to share what one of your goals are that you want to achieve in your business, right? So, so here's the thing. How do you turn that connection to the why of your goal into cash, right? And it's similar to what we just said, right? If you're doing things that don't align with that, and things that just doesn't work in alignment and isn't connected to that goal, then you need to pivot. You need to pivot, and you need to shift things. So I want to make a distinction here, right? It's not always that you need to change the goal, right? It's not always that the fundamental thing is the goal, the foundational thing is the goal. It's not always that you need to change the goal. It's that you need to change the strategies or the actions that you're taking towards getting to that goal, right? Because so often I think what happens is people create the goal, or they set the goal, and then they don't get to that goal. And so they burn it down, and they say this goal is not achievable, and it's not meant for me, and this is not my, forte, and maybe this isn't realistic, blah, blah, blah. And they burn the goal down, right? But that's not how you get to your goals. You get to it by really first, like I said, really examining it, right? Being connected to it. And then what you do is you actually change the strategies and the actions around getting to the goal, not the goal themselves. So I want to lose weight. Let's use the example. I need to lose weight, right? That goal will not shift until I lose the weight. That's the foundational thing. That's the goal, right? It's not going to change. But if I'm going about trying to lose weight in a way that is not serving me, in a way that does not align, then that's the thing that needs to shift. Not the goal of losing the weight, but the actions I'm taking towards losing the weight, right? So if you want to sign another X amount of clients or make, X amount of money in your business in the next quarter, right? That goal won't shift, especially if you've done the work that we talked about yesterday, which is connecting to the why of the goal, right? That goal is not going to shift. But if you're doing things that's not serving that long-term goal, right? For example, if you're, spending a lot of busy time in your business, you're doing a lot of busy work, or, you're not focusing on really income producing activities and revenue generating activities in your business. If you are showing up inconsistently in your business, if you're here, you're there, if you're not asking for the sale, if you're not creating those connections, if you're not doing those things, then that's what needs to shift. It's not like, oh, I made a goal that I was going to sign, 3 or 5 new clients this month. And then, you realize that at mid-month, that's not happening. Then you just decide that that goal isn't meant for you. It means, how do I readjust my actions that I'm taking so that it is aligned with my values? It is all the things that we talked about this week. And so that it can bring those people into me. Like, what are the strategies? What are the actions? What are the things that I'm taking towards achieving that goal, right? Does that make sense? Let me know in the comments if you're watching again, if you're watching the replay, let me know in the comments if that makes sense. So again, too often I see people burning their goals down and deciding that it's not meant for them versus actually like shifting their actions around what they're doing in their goals, right? And that is just simply not the answer. So that is sort of what I have to offer you guys today on the tangible things that you can be doing to create that cash injection in your business, right? If you are not signed up already for the recap, I'm going to put the link in the comments so that you can get the recap emails, which I'm sending out every week at the end of the week, with all of the recaps of everything we've covered this week, so that you can go back and you can watch them. You don't have to scroll through your news feeds. And then next week, I'll be back on Monday morning at 8:30, same time, to dig into that second layer of connection, which is connection to your business. It is going to be a good one because we're going to get into really all those really tactical pieces of business that a lot of the business owners out there love to talk about. So I'll see you guys next week. Have a great Friday. And if you're watching and if you have any questions, or if you're watching the replay and you have any questions, feel free to pop those in the comments and I will go back and I will answer each and every one of them. All right. Have a great day, you guys. Bye.